Welcome to the Irish Photography Podcast, where tonight's episode we will hit our Insta spotlight and our Sunday showcase.
I don't know who you are, but welcome to the Irish Photography Podcast. Sit back, relax, and listen about cameras, gear, settings, stories, and all things photography. Join Diarmuid and Darren on Ireland's Best Photography Podcast. Let's go.
And you're very welcome to the Irish Photography Podcast. I'm sitting at home on my own because I don't want to do a podcast with some Cork langer. So I said, do you know what? Feck it. I'll just do it on my own. I prefer being on my own anyway. Oh, wait. What the hell is that looking at me on the front screen? Hello?
How's it going, boy? What's the story like? How are you getting on up there in Limerick?
Hold on a second. I thought I blocked you from the Zoom call, but somehow you're after wiggling your way into this. What's going on?
News flash. I'm the host.
Ah, sugar. All right.
Of the Zoom,
sure.
but you're the host of this evening's episode. So yeah,
That's right.
I'm still stalking you, am I? Am I still stalking you, am I?
You're still
Can't get away from me. Woof woof.
Anyway, it's your baby.
Throw the ball.
It's the talking of throwing the balls. How's little puppy Vader?
He's great, man. He's full of beans.
Yeah.
He's jumping around the place like a lunatic, and the lads are having great fun with him as well. Yeah, and brought him to the beach there the weekend, and unfortunately, I think he's a bit of a babe magnet, so everybody was over to him. Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice dog.
You're bringing him
good
everywhere, so from now on.
No, I'm not bringing him anywhere if that's the case.
I suppose.
Let's not get the attention.
True. Anyway, look, Darren, let's not beat around the bush. So we have a few things going on tonight, and we are going to hit your kind of special topic, the Insta Spotlight, and our Sunday Showcase also. But first of all, on the agenda, we've missed another podcast. And I've been getting a few messages saying, what's going on?
Me too.
What's going on?
Me too.
But you know what? I think it's time to rip the plaster off and tell everyone what exactly is going to go on and what's going to happen for our future episodes, shall we?
Hang on. Don't tell me when you're going to put it. Okay, yeah, go on, the plaster's off. Go on, yeah. Right? I agree.
So,
I think, look, it's time for us, I suppose, to let people know, obviously, in regards to where we've been, but also what we're going to do.
Yeah, very true. So look, we've started this podcast, you, John Myler, and I, back in the 24th of August 2018, and we hit the ground running, and it's been very, very successful. I mean, like, we've got a ridiculous amount of downloads. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I think it's close to 100,000 downloads at this stage. And it's just going really, really, really well. We've got some great audience in Ireland, UK, Australia, Canada, America, you name it. All the big countries in the world, they are tuning in to listen to the Irish Photography Podcast. And we've got a great following in America out of all the countries. I think it's just our accents, maybe. I don't know what it is.
Must be.
You know,
well, it's hardly my looks anyway.
Oh, it's got to be my looks, of course, because I'm
my
the
voice
hunk of the group.
Okay, yeah. Face for radio, yeah. Hello, everybody in America. Thanks for continuing to tune in there to our sexy Irish accents.
Exactly. I think maybe Greg Snell's just listening over and over again. But he's up in Canada.
He's Canadian, and he's not in Canada. He was in Germany.
Oh, that's right. He's in Germany for like
moving to Spain. No,
that's right. Yeah. But anyway, so look, we haven't missed a beat. We've been really working really hard for the bones the last 2 years, and I'd be lying and you'd be lying if we said it wasn't hard. You know, it's been extremely hard. It takes up a lot of time. It takes time away from family. It takes time away from our jobs. You know, and like, we don't get paid for this, Darren. You know, this is. We do it off our own backs. Okay, we get a little perk here and there, or maybe a small bit of a product, a few bits and bobs, but we're not bringing in like €200 a week or €300 a week to kind of help us make the podcast. So it's a bit tougher from that side of things. So what do you think from that side of?
Well, for me, as you said, look, we've been doing the podcast every single week for the last 2 years, and it is, you know, it's a passion. It's something that we love doing, and it's a lot of fun doing it as well. And, you know, by the way, we're not stopping doing it. So just in case anybody's thinking that we're stopping doing it, but it takes a lot of time to create every single week. And we come up with some various different topics. We got some great guests in it. we've had a blast, you and I suppose, and everybody that we've met in it. But the time comes when you have to look and say, okay, how many more different ways can we start talking about ISO? I mean, there's not that many that you can actually do. So you know what? Rather than us
shitty
saying,
outcome.
yes, Gavin Hardcastle. So rather than us then just, continuously saying, okay, what are we going to talk about this week? No, we did that. We did that a year ago. Or we did that 2 years ago. And we've thought about that as well, by the way, of going back over all the topics that we've already spoken about, just in case anybody's new to the podcast and they haven't heard them before. But you're kind of rehashing old stuff. So we said, you know what? How about we take a different approach of it right now? And then we're going into a season when, for you, as you say, it takes time away from work, and you're a professional photographer. So you need to be able to find a way to be able to make the money to pay the bills. And now you're going to come out of Corona and you're going to find yourself busy, hopefully, in things that you have to take photographs of. So you need to start gearing up for that, looking forward in relation to it as well. So I think there's a culmination of a number of things, really. But overall, like I say, I think we need to make a change into the hectic schedule in life that you and I both lead, to be able to come up with something more realistic instead of every single week has to be out by Friday, has to be done. What are we going to talk about? And you know what? Like, in fairness, I don't think out of the how many 100 and something episodes that we have, that there hasn't been a time that it hasn't been hard to create the podcast and all the work that goes in the post-production of it as well afterwards. So, it's a lot of work. It's a hell of a lot of work. And you and I, and John as well, but you and I suppose for the period of time for the last 2 years have had that 100% commitment to it and haven't missed a beat. Okay, we missed a beat there a couple of weeks ago, but yeah.
That was just that was by design, really. I was just tired, I was jaded, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't up to the podcast. I didn't even really want to do it. I was there going, if I do this podcast now, it's just going to be pure muck, going to be pure shite. And if I go on the microphone, it's just going to come out absolutely terrible. And I didn't want to do it,
Agreed. Absolutely. You were asleep anyway. So, that was the most important part.
Yeah. Oh, no, this is the 2 weeks prior to this one. We were supposed to record 2 nights ago, and I was fucking comatose on the couch, and my phone was going off about 100 times, and Trish absolutely lost the fucking plot. It wasn't just you, it's other people looking for me, And she was like, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? So she just went into my phone and texted everyone back, he is asleep, he is asleep, he is asleep. So I don't know why she just didn't turn off the phone, but look, it is what it is.
Was your hand not making loads of noise as well then with your Apple Watch, no?
Oh, Darren, comatose.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, I'd say I would have got, at that stage, I was like 23 hours without sleep,
Yeah.
You weren't waking me,
Imagine it. Hello and welcome to the Irish Talk podcast.
I actually woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning on the couch. She left me there, she didn't want to move me in case she woke me up.
The crick in the neck, man. You're goose for the next day.
I didn't. I was fine. I actually had one of the nicest sleeps I've ever had in my life, if I'm being totally honest. Maybe because I just saw
getting kicked and elbowed.
Oh, Jesus. It's great sleep. Really enjoyed it. And I went straight upstairs into the bed and conked again, So, yeah, good sleep. Wow. Anyway, we've spent way too much time talking about sleep. Anyway, but you get the idea. We want to keep the podcast fresh. We want to be able to come onto the microphone, being able to talk good topics. And if we do too much too often, then we don't have much to talk about in a certain degree. So, like you alluded to there a few minutes ago, my schedule is going to be absolutely hectic from September onwards because the kids are going to go back to school. My jobs are starting to come back online. The confirmations and communions are coming in fast and furious because they're all being rescheduled. You come into October, then I'm gearing up for my Santa Grotto. Hopefully it goes ahead. And then I've weddings then coming into December then as well on top of that. And then from January onwards, I am just balls to the wall with weddings simply because of this coronavirus. Everything's backed up. I'm double booked the whole way up for the rest of the year. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. So I just don't have the commitment or the time to do a podcast every week. So the plan of action is what's going to happen is we're going to try and put one out every second week, but I'm not going to be on every second week. I'm going to try and come on as much as I can, but it's going to be looking like I'm going to be come on once a month, but you are going to try and come on every second week if you can and come on with someone else, like a special guest or whatever. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, if you can get on once a month, and I'll try and do, 2, I suppose, really, but one either on my own, which I don't really like doing, but getting guests on, or even members of the audience, let's just say, or the community, in the photography community. You know, if somebody wants to come onto the podcast and just talk about something, give me a shout. If it's something interesting, you know, and I've got an opportunity, then we'll record it. And guess what? We'll have some fun anyway, either which way. But I think it's kind of a different schedule, an autumn-winter schedule, Diarmuid. Let's call it that. Let's move into the autumn season of the Irish Photography Podcast.
Let's put some people up on a bit of a shelf here and kind of call them out. You got to come on the podcast. So there's Robert Ziegenfuss, our mate from Kenmare, the Irish Yank. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then you have Keith Harkins, nice guy. Mm-hmm. But he's coming on leaps and bounds, man. Absolutely, really, really good. Mark Fletcher, another one. David absolutely. Woodland, where are you at, buddy? When did you come on the podcast? You know, talked about something else besides landscape, you know?
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, let's talk about something other than landscape. Yeah, can you
about
get a guest
street
on
photography,
that's not a landscape?
maybe.
Like, yeah, Dave. Come on, Dave. Come on and talk about something that's not landscape, Dave. Let's get a guest on that's not landscape. Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave.
Dave. So yeah, there you go. So there's just an idea, you know. But look, there's hundreds more. We get like our community that follow the podcast is absolutely great, and the amount of tags that we get on Instagram, it's unbelievable. Their photographs are awesome. And then the Sunday showcase, which will come to know after this quick break. I mean, it's awesome. So we have a plethora of followers and listeners.
It's a big word, marmalade.
Marmalade? Oh yeah. What are you on about?
Plethora. My God, yeah, that's a bombshell. Go on anyway. I interrupted your train of thought there. We've a plethora.
Oh my God, plethora of guests to choose from if they so do wish to come on the podcast. You don't have to have any of these big fancy setups or microphones. Just your voice is good enough for us, you know.
Have something interesting to say and be able to say it, and
True.
Off we go from there.
Yeah. So that rules out Bernard Garrity anyway. That's for sure.
Yeah, but you know what? No, to be fair to Bernard, he's doing a great job in his own podcast. You know what I mean?
He's doing a fantastic job, man. Unreal.
Fantastic, you know. He's getting some fantastic guests as well on, and I think, you know, the way he's dealing with it, even himself, no, just like you, his own business being wiped out, you know, getting something to do, finding something interesting, but he's actually doing a phenomenal job in it, man. Phenomenal job. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And if you haven't listened to Bernard's podcast, go on over there. Maybe it'll make up for if we're missing for one of the weeks.
Joe, we could even try to, because I know Bernard goes on once every 2 weeks as well, so we could maybe coincide, like he releases 1 week, we'll release the next one, and trying to have them separate, you know, just might make that balance a bit easier for everyone, you know.
Might do.
It's not a bad idea, you know. So we'll maybe talk to Bernard.
Fair play to you.
Yeah. All right, so look, we'll just we've hashed that out enough, haven't we?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, look. Yeah, it's not anything bad. It's just a different schedule. It's our autumn-winter schedule.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Yeah, hook us up on the Facebook group anyway, and or shoot us a message. If you're not in the Facebook group, by the way, go on to Facebook, search the Irish Photography Podcast. Boom, it's there. Click join, I think it says, and then it's going to ask you for a name of a host. Name me or Diarmuid or Bernard or anyone that's been on the podcast, and
or Devin.
Off you go.
Don't forget about Devin.
Yes. Yeah, and Robert.
Who's Robert?
Ziegenfuss.
Oh, yeah. Future potential guest. All right, so guys,
come on, Robert.
We're going to go for a quick break, and we'll be right back in 2, 3, 7, 20 seconds. All right.
After this.
Today's episode is sponsored by O3. As a company with an international reputation for quality and customer care that they are told is second to none, they fully understand their obligation to you, the customer. Each suit is manufactured to an established procedure that they have developed and evolved over the years. With their experienced, dedicated team, O3 has grown into the respected dry suit and wetsuit manufacturer and is an established market leader, putting quality, neoprene innovation and service at the very core of everything they do. O3, come in from the cold.
And you're very welcome back back to the Irish Photography Podcast. And now we have Darren.
I got a new host.
Special
I got a new host. Peter McKinnon is on the host. Oh, hi Peter. Thanks for coming on, man. Wow, it's been you know something we've been waiting for so long. I said we'd have you on, but fair play to you, Peter.
What's up?
The second half. I'm delighted that Diarmuid fella's off on the second half of the show. He's doing every second or something, wasn't it? Yeah, I think he said so, yeah. Pete,
yeah, man.
How are you getting on,
yeah,
man?
It's a
good,
pleasure.
Good. Absolute
I'm loving
pleasure
this
to have you on the
Canon
Irish Photography
ESR
Podcast,
5, man. It's absolutely amazing. Amazing, man. I mean, like, amazing. I'm so looking forward and so enthusiastic about this podcast.
Make some coffee there, Pete, would you?
I only like Monster, man. Like Diarmuid.
Sorry, I interrupted your flow there again. My apologies. Go on.
That's
anyway
all right,
there,
buddy. We won't
Diarmuid,
fall
Pete.
out over it. So, we're back to your baby, your Insta Spotlight. And this week's Insta Spotlight is Mr. Henry O'Brien, a Corkonian. Don't know whereabouts in Cork. I'm guessing Cork City as our Insta Spotlight. And Henry is a very, very good and technical photographer. I mean, this dude will try his hand on absolutely anything. As you explained during the week, that he's more of an experimental photographer. Would that be right?
That's what I would consider Henry is. Yeah, he's more of somebody who's going to experiment with his camera to see what he can get and see, do you know what, would that work? How would I make it work? And playing around with light. I mean, you look at Henry's Instagram feed, you know, you could tell looking at my Instagram feed that I'm a landscape photographer and that's it, nothing else. When you look at Henry's, you couldn't pinpoint what type of photographer he is because he takes a photograph of everything. And I think that's the interesting thing in regards to Henry, because he seems to always have a camera in his hand. You know, he would go taking different photographs all over wherever he is, but a lot of them is in Cork. Fair play, keep it rising, you know, up the Rebel County. But I mean, you know, the biggest thing I think when I look at Henry's body of work, and it's a body of work on Instagram. I mean, there's something like 1,700 photos up on Instagram, and scrolling through the images, I wanted to kind of give it a good shot in regards to the work, because I know there's a number of images in the past that I would have seen that Henry has taken, and I wanted to go back, and I went back all the way through every single image, and I scrolled through to find the ones that I knew that were by Henry. And that's in regards to, I suppose, a good compliment when I can remember an image that's been taken by a photographer specifically rather than just the image. And that's why I said, you know what, he could be a very, very good person to have on the Insta Spotlight for this week, because the breadth of work that he has, but also the type of results that he's able to get. And I suppose, you know, if I can just talk about one, I suppose, to kick it off. And it's an image actually from 2017. So I wasn't joking when I said I went all the way back, right? So it's April 12th, 2017. And it's an image of somebody standing on the road with an umbrella. And it looks like it's raining. It also looks like there's a race of some sort that's going on. So it's probably one of those pit girls or whatever it may have been. But it's just such a striking image to me because she's completely silhouette. And then you've got the light coming in behind it, which is lighting up the rain. It's either rain or it's, you know, heat from moisture after rain or something like that at a race course or something like that. But for me, straight away, it struck it because then she stood there with an umbrella and you see the silhouette of the umbrella as well. And then just by chance on the left-hand side, which is not what even you're looking at the image, but, you know, your eye will be drawn straight to her. But on the left-hand side of that, then you see people that are just sitting on what looks like an old, whatchamacallit, 4x4 kind of quad thing, you know. So it's at some event because there's cones and everything there as well. So for me on the image, such a simple image, but to have your camera there to be able to take that moment, and I think that's what Henry does in a lot of it. He has his camera with him so he can capture that moment. So that was why, I suppose, in regards to from one of the older images, and like I said, that's back from 2017. Have you any images, I suppose, really that, you know, would strike you from his work?
Yeah, so like what stood out to me was the, this one image which he has in the port of Cork. So it's like, excuse me, coronavirus. He's got some big boat, and then he's got the picture framed with a very menacing sky and these two kind of cranes for shipment containers on either side to help balance the image. I thought it's just a really, really, really nice image. I loved it, but the one thing that sticks out to me is just that this one little cone in the water off the left. I would just love to have cloned that out just to balance the image absolutely perfectly. But I really, really like that image. It's got so much going for it. And if you look at the colours of the image, like, they're very striking. The blues are very intense. And then if you look at the containers, which is very, very clever. Now, whoever stacked the containers, they, like, remember I said to you, we do these things subjectively. Didn't I say about picking colours? If you look at the containers, they're all green and red. On the ship. Now, there's one blue at the bottom right, but the majority of them are all green and red. And I wonder, did he... who selected green and red containers? You know, did they realise that they're on the colour wheel?
The colour selector tool in Photoshop.
You know, so I thought that was very clever. I really, really like that. And whether Henry copped it or not, it doesn't really matter. But I just, that one really kind of stood out to me straight away. And the other one that did stand out to me as well was the place that you were mad about photographing 100 times, with your moon rising over it, the Black Rock Castle.
No, I wasn't. That was Photo Castle. But yeah, I know the image of. Yeah, but I know the image of that you're talking about of Black Rock Castle. Go on, describe it because it's a great image.
He's got loads of them. He's got loads of Black Rock Castle. He must go there quite often, but he's got this lovely, strong leading line coming from the bottom left, and it just curls around up to the castle, and just really kind of intense sky, and that's what I've been liking a lot lately.
Yes,
it's what's in vogue in my mind, as they say. So. Yeah, I'm really liking some of those images that he does, you know.
And do you know what? Here's another image as well, and something that, you know, you kind of hear is it a folklore image? When I first heard about it, I heard about a guy who got a photograph of a shell leaving I think it would be an anti-aircraft gun or something like that, and I went, nah, no way. And it's like, yeah, he got a photograph of the shell leaving the anti-aircraft gun, and it's a fantastic shot. I think Henry was in the army. I'm not quite sure, but you actually have, you know, the gun on the left-hand side of the screen. You got the plume of smoke, but just above the plume of smoke, you can see the shell leaving it. And for him to be able to capture that shot, you know, obviously, you know, you must be used to it and everything else, but to be able to know when it's going to be there, bang, get the shot, was actually expertly done. And another image, speaking of expertly done, is something that you tried and failed miserably at, which was water droplet photography.
Oh, hold on a second. I was awesome
you were
at that.
In your arse awesome. if awesome is the
terrible.
new Urban Dictionary,
I was shocking. I was shocking bad, man. I rocked on thinking I could do this. Yeah, I can do this. Boom. Yeah, useless.
Well, you know what? I've done a lot of research, I suppose, on it since you failed, because I figured, you know what, maybe I'll do it and show Diarmuid how it's done. I was only joking about doing that, but I just wanted to figure out how it would be done. And to do it properly, you need to have a water dropper so that you get one droplet that's coming down, and then another droplet comes down and hits that as it comes back up, and then you get your perfect corona, pardon the pun and the phrase in regards to it. But Henry has an image there that he's taken, and it's very cleverly done because, like I said earlier, you know, he uses light. So he's got all the different colours of the rainbow, probably in maybe one light bar at the back. I suppose that's a multicoloured light bar, or maybe a sequence of different lights. But the whole scene is the full colour spectrum. So number one, that grabs your eye. And then number two, in the centre of the image, you have that perfectly focused, the water spike or spire going up with the corona hitting on the way down. Each of the edges of it has a perfectly placed droplet of water, all in exactly equidistant distance coming out from the centre. But not only that, but you've got the ripples then underneath that, which reflect all those colours that are used in the background. And in the water is the reflection of the actual corona that was right above it as well. It is an incredible photograph. It's a colour explosion, but it's done precisely. And, you know, I took a screenshot of the image so I could be able to save it. And when you look at it up close, my God, man, it's nailed. Done. Unbelievably good. And that was an image straight away. I went, I must talk to Diarmuid about that now, because you know what? Henry managed to do it. Like, how about that?
Yeah, whatever. Moving on.
Well, look, and moving on again to experimenting. Like I said, you know, from an experimental photographer, something which struck me is, and I've done both. I've done this type of image myself. And maybe, just maybe, because this image was taken when, I didn't get the date when this image was taken. I don't know if it was taken before or after I did mine, and it might have been the image that inspired me to do mine. You know, that kind of way when you see something similarly at one point.
Yeah.
And then, right? So it's Mullinhassig Falls, and as you know, I like Mullinhassig Falls. And I also have a lens ball, and I took a photograph of putting the lens ball down on the leaves with the reflection and then reverse it, and that's exactly what Henry has done. But what he's got done with it, I think, is actually better than mine because the focus that he has within the lens ball was actually better. And maybe my lens ball wasn't as good. I got a bit of distortion from whatever poor manufacturer because it has to be complete crystal. But that was another image that struck me. And the final one that struck me was something else that I've done. And it's great fun to do. It can be painful if you do it wrong, which I learned, is steel wool spinning. And, you know, he got a photograph of it. It's a great photograph, but there's something within the image. And what I love about steel wool spinning is that, you know, you're doing a long exposure, 25 seconds. You're filling up a whisk with wire wool, and you're basically lighting that wire wool. You can even light it with a 9-volt battery. You don't even need a flame because it's highly combustible in that point when it gets the charge.
Did you ever stick your tongue to one of them?
Yes, once.
Yeah, I did it more than once.
cheap thrills, by cheap thrills. Yeah, it's horrible. Oh, yeah, I can still feel it. But anyhow, so you fill this up, you do that, and then you spin it over your head, okay? And because your camera is exposing, it takes every single filament as it flies out in a circle. That's fine. But when they hit the ground is when you start getting the bounces of those filaments. So you actually get them hitting, and then you get them breaking up and bouncing into smaller filaments. But within Henry's image, there are 3 large filaments that actually caused their own individual shape that's slightly different to the others. So it either, when he was spinning it round, they popped out and they went in a slightly different direction to the others. And it really, really stands out as an image to me. And again, like I said, it's experimenting with photography, and it's saying, I like this, how could I do it? But even what he's done there, I think is done quite well and differently, you know?
Yeah, he's definitely a talented photographer for sure. I mean, like his portfolio speaks for itself. You know, his Instagram page, like he's 1,220 photographs. He's 1,415 followers. You know, he definitely deserves more followers, if I'm being totally honest, because he puts a lot of work into it, Darren. You know, it's not easy. It genuinely is not easy. So, yeah.
It's not. Absolute. And you know what? Anybody that's involved in the club scene, and anybody that's been doing anything in regards to LIPFs, AIPFs, FIPAs, or whatever the different acronyms are, if you're there, you're most likely, after getting your grading and your qualification, Henry's the one that's most likely taking the photograph of you. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He goes to all these events. He works in the background tirelessly and helping everybody. But anybody who's gotten those photographs done, it's Henry most likely that's taken that image as well. So yeah, I think as an all-rounder, like I said, he probably has a camera glued to his hand and it never comes off his hand. And that's why I said, you know what, I think he's a good pick for our Insta Spotlight for this week.
For
and,
sure.
you know, to follow him on Instagram, it's Henry_O_Brian. So yeah,
cool.
Jump onto Instagram and give him a follow. And sure, look, let him know that the Irish Photography Podcast sent you. You never know. He might say thanks.
Oh, he probably hit you with a rocky as well, you know. Those fucking plonkers from Limerick and, Cork.
But he's from Cork. If he's from Limerick, he probably stabbed me in the eye with a biro.
True
As you
story,
keep saying.
kid.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Anyway, so let's move over to our Sunday showcase. And for those
Sunday Showcase.
new listeners out there, the Sunday showcase consists of Darren and myself selecting 3 photographs. Neither of us know exactly what we've picked, the other one has picked, and we will talk about our favourite photographs in the previous week's Sunday showcase. And let's go at it, Darren. All right, do you want to go first?
Am I going first? Okay, all right. So look,
I'll just be nice, yeah.
for a change.
For once.
Jesus, I better do the lottery or something. There's something good about to happen here. I'm not quite sure. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, an image here that I picked is from last week's Sunday showcase. And it's an image by Tony Campbell. And it's got to do with right now in regards to where we are from the period of time in August. We get our meteor showers and we get the Perseid meteor showers. And he's got an image taken over an old ruin. And for me, you know, okay, to be there to get the photograph over the old ruin is one thing, but then number two, to be able to get the meteor, and the meteor is bang smack in the middle of the frame, right above it, perfect timing, being out there waiting for it. And you know what? There's nothing more rewarding. I don't know if you've ever gone taking photographs and hoping to catch meteors in the meteor showers. But
Never.
you either can be very, very unlucky because you get clouds, or you're
Yeah.
lucky, like right now, you got clear skies.
Yeah. Did you say Tony Campbell? Yeah.
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 So the one at the Hill of Slane with the
Yes.
green lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
How the hell has the meteor got a green light in it? Just out of curiosity.
Because they will have a green glow to them as they hit the atmosphere above. Anyone that you will see like that. Even in the last couple of days, I've seen a lot of ones because we clear skies, and you see them that they've got a green glow to them.
Interesting. That's cool. No, I like the image. That's really, really cool. It's something definitely different for sure, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't pick that one, obviously. So we're okay. What's your first?
It's not a landscape.
Will we finally have something that Diarmuid and Darren agree on as their images from the Sunday showcase? Sorry, it's not a landscape image. Dave Woodland's not a landscape image. Yeah, go on.
So one of my favourites, top three, is from Finbar O Mirad Haig. Sorry, I know
It's not
nothing
from
about
Japan,
Irish.
no. Come on, don't butcher his name. Then.
Finbar O Mirad Haig, right? So
Okay.
he took a photograph of his dog, a teddy bear, and an airplane, all in one.
Okay.
And it was shot in the Aviation Museum in Shannon. And I absolutely adore the image. I love it. He definitely used off-camera flash, without a
Yes.
shadow of a doubt, because he's not going to get the same amount of detail. No camera has that amount of dynamic range. So it's absolutely epic. I love it. And the image being backlit from the sun, do you know, so that's your main fill if you want to look at it that way. Like that's one of your soft boxes, and then you got another one off to the right because you can see the light fall off to the left. And I just love it. It's got a lot going for it. It's got like this little kind of lunchbox or something with Sam in it, kind of the aviation kind of box. You've got the teddy bear, the dog then with this beautiful pose, and it's a little bit of his tongue just sticking out. I just love it. It's just that image just jumped out at me. Very well executed, lit beautifully, and yeah, that's a winner in my eyes, man. Fair play to you, Finbar. Love it.
Yeah, I love it. It's a very good photograph as well. And actually, it was close to me actually picking it because, as you say, in regards to the puppy, I'm going to get a soft spotlight, you know. But no, I didn't pick that one. So yeah, okay, we're on two different images, but two good choices, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to me, my second choice, and I actually have a bone to pick with the photographer in regards to this. And we mentioned
Not
him
me, is
earlier
it?
on, actually. So it's Mark Fletcher. So it's
Oh,
his
yeah?
second time now, or third time, I think, actually, going back to Gugambara. And every time he's gone back to Gugambara, he's gone with somebody not from Cork. And I've given out to him already. I said, you go to Gugambara and you don't even ask person from Cork. And also, both times, I think, when he went there, he only went to the lake and he didn't go up into the woods. And I told him to go up into the woods in regards to what things he could find up there. And he hasn't gone up there either. But that's okay, Mark. We still love you, right? Because I picked your image because I think it is a phenomenal image what you've actually captured. So anybody that knows Gugambara, you know, it's actually the origin, or that's what it's called, where the river starts, the origin of the River Lee, right?
Yeah,
so
that's
it starts from there, and you've got a lake, you've got an old oratory, St. Finbar's oratory. St. Finbar, I think, is the patron saint of Cork. I think I could be wrong on that, but when you go out there in the morning, it's pretty much covered and surrounded by hills, so you don't get much wind, so you get water that's flat on the lake that's there, and you get a beautiful reflection. And a lot of people will go there to try and get photographs, obviously, of still water. And you can look at that and you can go, okay, great. But the best thing to have on the still water there is also fog. And Mark has been there. I think it was his third attempt to get it, and he's gotten
That's right.
fog. And he's gotten his image, I think, which he was after in relation to it. But I love it because I made up for him for getting it. But also, you know what, I think he executed the image as well quite well. You know, and we've said that Mark, his skills have come on leaps and bounds.
Correct.
Even we met Mark for the first time, I think, actually a year ago when we were up at the 53 degrees north outside broadcast. And, you know, even to see the progression from Mark at that point in time, I think it's phenomenal. So, yeah, well done. That's why I've picked your image. But, yeah, like I say, come to Cork. after I told you.
to Cork,
You don't
boy.
even, do you know what I mean? Like, there's something wrong here. I don't know. It must be wrong. It must be my hairstyle, or I don't know. It must be my accent.
Maybe he just doesn't like you, Darren.
I think I'll put on
You
a
know what I
Kerry
mean?
accent or a Limerick accent or yeah, probably
Limerick
Donegal
accent, 'cause
accent.
he likes me.
Do-
He doesn't like you at all,
Donegal.
I don't think.
Donegal accent.
You know, so.
Hey, welcome to Googamba.
Me personally, I absolutely adore the image. I didn't
Yeah.
pick it, truth be known, but I loved how it's so well balanced, and he broke all the rules for good reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're to put that in the rule of thirds, yeah, it'd be grand. But this is framed so nicely by its own ingredients on the image.
Yes.
So you look at the forest on the right hand side, if you want to call it a forest. The church, is it a church? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a church. You can get married there, like, if you want to get married again, like.
No, thanks. I'm still paying back the bills of the last one. Well, I'm not actually, but anyway, it's a beautiful church. It's so quaint. It's so small and petite. You know, it's a really, really nice image. And that church, then the reflections are just so still, and you have the mountain range in the background, just kind of falling off to the left. Beautiful image. And like you said,
Beautiful.
it's like loads of people have it with the still water, but not many have it with the fog. So it's just,
Yeah.
I've never even been there. It's definitely on my cards to go do a vlog or something from there for sure.
Yeah,
Without you,
absolutely. Yeah, I was just going to say it. Yeah, don't bother ringing me, obviously, because, you know, obviously,
no one wants
you know.
to. I'll ring Mark Fletcher to bring me down there if he can bring the fog.
That's it, yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly.
Put it in your
so,
bag
yeah,
there, Mark. Bring it with you.
Two for one. What's your second?
It's not another landscape.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's another animal, believe it or not, for
Okay.
sure. And it's from our good old buddy Milo Van Beek, and he's got an absolute stunning picture of a bird. I don't know what freaking bird it is. It could be a bird of prey for all I know. I'm not up to speed with my wildlife, but it's ridiculously well lit. I mean, look at the shadow detail on the left-hand side of the bird, and it's got this beautiful kiss of light just hitting off his chest and his eye and the side of his beak. And it's so well framed. The bird and the perch just fill the frame and dominate the image, and everything else just falls away into this beautiful bokeh in the background. It's just, I love it. I really, really do love it. And there's a hint then, an absolute hint of rim light, and you can see it on this back over to the left. It's just, I'm actually ridiculously I don't like birds. I don't. I'm sure they're good for everyone, but I've never been jealous of a bird image, but I am now. This is just phenomenal.
It is stunning. It is stunning. It's absolutely beautiful image. And you know what? It was actually the fourth image that I had picked, but I had to only pick three.
Yeah.
Because I'm a landscape photographer, I said, you know what, if I'm picking birds, like, they'd be going, has he gone soft in the head? Like, do you know what I mean? He's picking birds, like, off the stage. But no, fantastic image. And I agree with you, Milo, you've done a phenomenal job. And the lighting on it, I mean, you pick up the little nuances when you know what to look for. And you see all of that in the image. And as you say, the treatment of the image, I think, is perfect. The sharpness, okay, Facebook kills every single bit of quality. You know, if you ever want to put an image up on Facebook and expect somebody to go, my God, look how sharp it is, you're not going to get it on Facebook. But you know this image is sharp because you can just see that the image is perfectly done. So, yeah, I agree with you on that one. Well done, Milo. That's a phenomenal choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to me.
No, you're up to you. You're up to you.
Two for two, yeah?
Yup.
Okay. Well, for me, an image, and it didn't appeal to me at the first. You know, I kind of go through these and then I'm looking and go, I like that, I'll mark that, I like that, I'll mark that. And then I kind of go through a process of elimination. And the reason I picked this next image was, at first glance, it drew me in and I wanted to know what it was. And the second glance was, I knew what it was because I was there. And the third was, I had taken a similar shot from pretty much exactly the same spot. But again, mine wasn't as good as what I see here. And what I see here is an image taken of the Fairy Glen in Snowdonia. And it was something I went on a workshop at the time with Bernard and Rodney. And this image, I just really love the way it's been processed. You know, the image, obviously, you know, there is a playing and dodging and burning, but the way the dodging and burning is done, I think it's done exceptionally well. You've got a natural flow that comes through within that image anyway of the flow of the water. If anybody's been there, it's a stunning place to go to. But he's photographed this image, and it's Ian Stronghill, by the way, who's taken the image. But he's photographed this image in a way that you kind of want to see what's at the very end of it, because the lines in the water, the way the rocks are framing and anchoring in at the bottom, and at the very end of it is a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of a waterfall or a bit of a stream. And it's a beautiful image to me. And that gets my pick, because also he's played with the lighting on the rocks either side as well to kind of bring that part of the image. Because you could leave that black, you could leave that dark because those rocks are dark, but he hasn't, so he's played with that as well. And I do like the, again, little subtleties that are done in it. And Ian, for me, that gets my choice for the third image for me.
Yeah, I love it. And what I love about it is the fact that he didn't shoot absolutely everything pin sharp. He left the foreground soft. And it's nice to see that for a change, because everything doesn't have to be sharp in the image. You know, I kind of get that from a wedding side of thing and a portrait side of thing. I try make shit blurry all the time, if that makes any sense. You know, as long as the eye is sharp.
Yeah, exactly. But don't they say that the only thing that really should be sharp is what you want somebody to see, because otherwise it just becomes a distraction. Because just like light, it becomes a focus or a focal point in the image. Sharpness and bokeh can do exactly the same thing. And even going back to Milo's image with the bird, the bokeh and the background of that makes that bird more prominent. So you could have a shed load of clutter in behind all that, but you're never going to see that because your focus is on what you want the eye to be. So I agree with you on that as well,
Yeah, I really like that image. It's definitely somewhere I'd like to go, because I remember when I seen your vlog from there one time, you were kneeling down over there on that exact rock, weren't you? In one of your vlogs.
I walked out there, I did a ghostographer image where I did a 30-second exposure.
Is that it?
And I was in it for 15 seconds and out of it for 15, so you could see through me.
Yeah, I remember it, yeah. Very well done. Well done, buddy. Thanks. Yeah, good image.
Thanks.
But unfortunately, we're still unmatched with any photograph to date.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
what is it? What's your? I can I guess what your next one is, and the last one?
Yeah. I don't know if you'll get it, but what do you think it is like?
Okay, it's not landscape.
Correct.
Okay, it's not on the ground, on the land.
Correct.
It's in a body of water.
Correct.
And it is a type of fish.
Correct.
And it's taken with a macro lens.
Correct.
Oh! I got somewhere there towards it anyway. Go on, tell everybody what your choice is, because I know what it is.
So yeah, it's an absolute gorgeous fish. I don't know what the name of the species is, but it's gorgeous. Again, you're looking for this beautiful bokeh, and it's very, very easily achieved with any macro lens, because the depth of focus on those things are just ridiculous, like, you know, because you can get really in close and everyone else just seems to fall off. But I love the colour treatment that he's actually gave it. You know, that's done in post-processing. That's not really there. So that's just Andy Clark, who is an absolute tremendous YouTuber, especially if you're into scuba diving. This dude is really fun, easy to listen to, easy to watch. He's actually got his own podcast also.
You were on it.
About scuba diving. That's correct.
Yeah.
And like, do you know...
You cheated on me. Go on, yeah.
So look, if you are looking for another podcast to listen to, do go over to Andy Clark. He's called Andy the Northern Diver. Fancy a Brew podcast. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. And like, you would associate scuba diving with, come on, let's not beat around the bush, males do a lot of scuba diving, but he's gone out of his way to interview as many girls that scuba as he can possibly can, and kind of promote that side of, I did it because I'm like a girl. Yeah, you know, it's okay. I got pink fins. It's okay.
Have you pink fins?
But yeah, no, I don't.
Orange? Are they orange? Are they orange? Are they orange?
Oh, I'll tell you a story about the. Do we have enough time? I don't know. Yeah, I wanted orange fins, but they can't get them from me or something like that. Anyway, but yeah, there's a longer story than that, but I won't waste your time. But yeah, it is a fabulous image. I mean, like, it's tack sharp, straight onto the eyeball of the fish, and everyone else falls away into it. I mean, like, It's beautiful, and the color scheme. He's got like orange and teal, so you're going to kind of a film making kind of preset or a treatment in the tone curves with it. You know, it's beautiful. I really do like it.
Yeah, I love it as well. But I knew straight away that it was going to be yours, so I didn't pick it.
Yeah.
We could have had a match, but I said no. You know what? The Fairy Glen won it out for me. Well, the others won it out for me too. I want to stick with my tree. But yeah, I think a very, very good choice as well, Dad. And interesting again,
likewise.
Like we have a number of ones to choose from, but we've all each time chosen different images. But it just goes to show, and like we said, every single time we've done this, and let's say it again. Our dog is making noise in the background, but that's okay. We're used to it coming from your side anyway. But you know, we've said it every single time we've done this. It's an exceptionally hard task to do, to try and pick out just 3 images from the incredible caliber of people. Do you know, 1 second, I got to get this dog.
But yeah, you're right. 100%.
He really wanted to be on the podcast, so he had to come on the podcast.
Oh, look at him!
And that's
he's trying to eat the microphone now.
Licking the microphone there. Yeah.
But like, you're right. There's 76 comments, 76 images posted in the Sunday Showcase this week, and I mean they're all brilliant.
Bangers.
And unfortunately, we can only pick 3. Like, you know,
they're all bangers.
I would love to pick B for banger. I would have loved to pick more, but look, let's keep it to 3. But yeah, we're still. So does this mean we're not kindred spirits, that we can never pick the same image?
No, I think we probably are kindred spirits, that we do the opposites.
Okay.
But come here,
Whatever.
thinking
That's
of
just
this now,
blown a
didn't you
cockability.
say that we were going to do something different for the next time we did this? What was your idea that you had on the fly? And I went, that's a brilliant idea. You can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's the idea now? Go on.
The followers have to, like, we've picked our 3. Like, this isn't a real competition. This is just to get more of the followers more engaged into it and kind of give them a sense of feedback. There's no prizes because there was a comment, and I'm going to say it straight out there, and there was a comment saying, "You're the judges, why can't you pick a winner?" Dude, it's just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
This is nothing serious, you know. Relax the cax, just a small bit. It's just a way to kind of get our fans, our viewers, into
And the
more
community.
engagement.
And the community.
Yeah,
you
build
know,
the community,
Okay, we might pick out 3, like, and all of a sudden we could be completely batshit crazy, and they'll go, "What are you picking out those 3 for? I didn't like them." I mean, but that's not neither here nor there. It's about what we've picked out. Of the ones we've picked, what's your favourite of those 6? Because it's going to be 6. Let's face it. It is never probably going to be 5, 4. It's most definitely never going to be 3 images because we've never matched anything. So it's always going to be 6 images. And of the 6 that we've picked, let's have a bit of fun. You know, and we can say that's going to be the one. But didn't we say that the one then that gets the most becomes the cover?
Correct.
Yeah.
So whatever gets the most becomes the cover for a week or whatever. Yeah.
That's when I went off into my rant, or did I do that in my head?
You probably did that in your head.
Yeah, when I went off into my
dangerous
rant.
place up there, like.
Well, I'll get it out of my head now. I'll get it into my rant in regards to what's been in my head for a while. Is that I cannot for the life of me understand why people get so excited about something when it's just a cover photo. And on Monster Landscape Photographers, I've done a number of things over the years, and I'm pretty much stopping doing them all in it now because it annoys me so much in regards to it. Like, it's a competition. No, it's not a competition. It's just, let's pick a cover photo. And people get so animated about it. Why you didn't vote for... Oh, my God, it's ridiculous. Like I said before, and the competitions, when I first started Monster Landscape Photographers, that was fun. But it very quickly turned into people that will try anything that they can to try and win for whatever reason. So let's not try and have that with this one. This is just a bit of fun, lads. You know, whatever image you're liking, as you said, it's not a competition. There is no prize, except, your image can be on the cover photo on our private Facebook group, by the way, as well, of people who are in our community. So, yeah. Rant over.
Do you need a hug there or something?
No, man,
Jesus
but you know what?
Christ.
It really...
But you're right.
Really,
you're right. You are right.
It annoys me, right? Because, you know, I put so much work over the years into Monster Landscape Photographers to build an exceptional community, and it was ruined, in my opinion, by people trying everything that they can do to try and cheat at something which is something that you should be passionate about. And I had prizes, and I had a lot of prizes in Monster Landscape Photographers, and that's when you start to see the true colours of people coming out, and it annoyed the shit out of me. Sorry, but that's me speaking my mind. And you know what, I created a phenomenal community, and it still is a phenomenal community amongst the landscape. But for me, that took the passion completely out of it. And like we said at the beginning, for me, definitely, this is a passion. I do this because I love photography. I have no financial gain. Yet I had people messaging me on all different things, attacking me for all different things, because I'm trying to organise a bit of fun for people to give something back. So yeah, okay, rant over, right?
Done.
Let's have a bit of fun with the cover photo.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy voting for that one. Ooh, Jesus. But may the best image win. I know which one I'll be voting for sure. And that's it for this week's episode, guys. If you'd like to further your experience, please do join the Facebook. Like Darren said a while ago, just name a host and tell us what genre of photography you kind of like. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, please do, as Darren kind of takes that side of things and kind of does the Friday features with some great photographers who we have following us here also. And that's it for us for this episode. I've been me, Darren's been Darren, and we've really, really enjoyed this episode of the Irish Photography Podcast. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Not 1, 2 weeks. Ayo.
Slán the fall, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Hey guys, if you dig what you're hearing, why don't you jump over to iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating and don't forget to share with your friends. With all that done, we'll see you next week, and remember, keep shooting.